new jobs and no mysterious threats to get in our way!
No mysterious threats!
Hello and good evening for this Thursday, September 14th, 2023. We have finished watching the third episode of Star Trek Lower Decks' fourth season, titled In the Cradle of Vexilon. But we're just getting started here on Live Long and Podcast for a live stream here on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitch, or you might be listening to us on the audio version. I'm Dave Mader, and I'm joined with a great crew here to help break down this episode. Starting first, we got Davan Skelhorn, along with my goddaughter Ursula, as she's looking for a soother, I believe.
She is, yes.
Yes,
she can find it, but that's like it's never good enough.
Well, you know, they're hard to please, and it doesn't get better. All right,
this episode pleases, though.
It does please, it does. And joining us once again, we have Chris, the World Mind Murphy. Hello,
Starfleet Academy's finest over there with Davan, and his, So
yes,
she's a sight to behold.
A young cadet there, joining us. Yes,
she's a first grade screamer. That's for sure.
And we're here to talk about the third episode. Last week we had a doubleheader because two episodes came out the same day. This one just one, the third episode, and so it kind of felt like a second week. Because it was a second episode, I guess. I mean more, but it was actually the third. So, and it involved AI. It involved them dealing with their new promotions. What else was the big things in this episode?
Mariner wasn't even in this episode, was she?
A whole lot.
She
of
was, but
scanning.
not. Yeah, she was scanning chips. I would say this was a pretty Boimler focused episode, but
definitely
you could. But they all had a little bit of something to do.
Baby's
right.
gone.
Yeah,
Bye, baby.
Pass the basketball. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. Well, yeah, guys. Davan, what did you think of the episode?
I love this episode. Give me more T'Lyn.
T'Lyn.
This is the most T'Lyn we've gotten so far, and
It's a good
everything she
T'Lyn.
says is gold.
Yes. The mortality of lieutenants junior grade on their first mission seems to be accurate, according to T'Lyn.
Everything everywhere is science. I believe that was the line.
That was the best line ever. It's just like
she's like, everything is science.
Yeah, everything ever that ever happened is science stuff.
The science stuff. Yeah.
That's the way we look at it over in the science division.
Of Live Long About. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
It's all scientific. Chris, what was your feelings on this episode? In the bigger scheme of Lower Decks.
I was enjoying it. I was having a good time. I enjoyed the T'Lyn factor and Boimler just sort of trying to overcome his command jitters, if you will, getting to introduce the ensigns and stuff like that. And the jokes on that portion were pretty funny. And I guess I enjoyed the, I guess you could say Star Trek IT of the A storyline with Captain and Ransom. The part where Ransom was admiring art, and he was just shapeless. That had me rolling.
He's like, there's no balance, no focus here on the sculptures. Yeah, there's a couple lines in there. Boimler dies, guys, in this episode.
Yeah, huge. I was like, whoa. And then we get the koala.
No, he doesn't die. He almost dies.
Well,
it's his first death.
Near-death experience, at least.
Yeah, first near-death experience, yeah.
Yeah, there's something weird. We got to talk about that scene, and if there's something bigger being said there. But, of course, we also got references to one of my favorite Star Trek episodes, Move Along Home, in the Ala Moraine. We've got a comment here live or hi from the Night Shift podcast, our new friends over at the Star Trek Night Shift podcast. I believe Merrick was going to join us tonight, and I was going to get to talk to him, but I think something came up for him and he couldn't attend.
Yeah, he's reviewing it over on the Night Shift.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Well, you couldn't
forgot. He's like, oh yeah, we review those things too. He's like, okay.
So he's got someone better to be. Okay, I see how it is.
I guess so.
I guess we're competing. I should promote his show.
Classic Night Shift. You know what? They may be Delta Shift.
Are they Delta Shift?
You guys Delta Shift.
It's a watch party. It's not a review. They're just having some fun watching it with the friends. So
so they watch it live? Like, is that their thing?
They watch it over Discord. That You know,
that archaic platform that doesn't have any user-friendly functions, and all the users are
Forsaken platform
curmudgeon-y.
that I it's like trying to teach these gentlemen how to make fire with a stick. You know, it's the quest for Discord over here on
I know how to
Levon
use it.
podcast.
It's no better than ICQ or anything else that ever existed. It's like nothing. It's the same thing. Or Facebook or any of them.
There's merit to it, if you will.
If you guys are Delta Shift, you should tell us now. Because 4-shift rotations are an abomination, and I'll say it.
We should be streaming from Starbase 80, he says. Uh-oh, not that place. That's a place, the hellhole.
Whoa.
And Damon saying hello from the night. Oh, all our friends over the night shift. Where are you, night shift people? Come here.
Merrick is the link.
We appreciate you dropping by.
Sam here with our longtime fan, Sam, asking if I have a Godfather impersonation. I don't think so. I don't think I do a Brando.
I can do a Luca Brasi.
Luca Brasi?
Thank you for inviting me on the day of your daughter's wedding.
Absolutely.
That's my Luca Brasi.
Well, that was impressive. I nearly thought I was there. Okay. Well, guys, let's jump through the screenshots. Just remind ourselves what happened in this episode, and see if we can remember anything else that maybe we've missed over. But it seems like we're all pretty positive. Although I don't think it sounds like none of us are blown away either. There was no teaser for this episode. This episode just starts on the credits, and then goes right into the title card. And we're at this planet.
Gotta love title cards.
We're
Bring him back,
man.
Yeah. So we got a captain's log to start this episode. They're at the world of Carazonia, an artificial megastructure in a bespoke star system designed by a long extinct alien species. There's a big ring that lives around this thing, a big artificial environment, and
Also
it has a
known
big
as
computer.
Halo with Master Chief and Cortana, his super intelligent. It's like the parallels here were very apparent for anyone that's ever played Halo. They'll see it.
I've never played Halo, but good to know that this is not the first time in science fiction that this has appeared, although I wouldn't imagine it would be. So not a planet.
Love the idea.
It's like an artificial thing.
Ring.
It's almost like a Dyson sphere. It's like a Dyson disc, almost. It's
a Halo.
It's a Halo. And so the Cerritos is there trying to help with this computer, which is benevolent. It's a big AI, So Davan, they're not all evil.
They all say they're benevolent.
Well, until they go bad. But so
then they
it
glitch and they shut down and they do whatever they damn well please is what they do.
and that's kind of what happened in the episode a little bit too.
Yeah, exactly.
So, a good thing Captain Freeman was there with her minor in archaic technologies or whatever. It was. Yeah, so the planet has a weather control system. Everyone here is pretty lives a pretty good life because the computer, the weather control, the Vexilon is the name of it. Hence the name of the episode. It runs the weather controls and it keeps them all happy. And it's almost like they're worshipped here. And provide for all their needs.
Art lifestyles, and she's so stressed out that she had to make these terrible statues.
He's like, "Oh, did make these terrible looking statues? Did they? No, actually, those are." Or they look exactly like the other ones. It's like if you look at the two sides, they're the exact same statues. But one is called the one is the work of the masters, and one is the ugly ones.
These are ancient pieces of her history. They're 10,000 years old.
Yeah,
Think of something that
go way back. Ransom not impressed. And apparently, he's a bit of an art buff, guys. As in addition to just being buff.
Well, what's more artistic than a rock hard bod?
Exactly. He doesn't go for it. It lacks balance, he says, and vision or something.
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
And then we had so basically the main this one storyline is mostly going to focus on Freeman and Ransom, and eventually Billups is going to join them here in this structure with Vexilon. Vexilon makes them some iced tea, but then it burns Ransom's hand because it's malfunctioning.
Oh, that's hot. Damn it! He's like, damn it, I screwed it up again.
Right, and Vexilon's personality quirk is that he's very self-deprecating, gets depressed easily.
No confidence.
Fractuccino hot.
Yeah, I'm so stupid. He always gets mad at himself. I'm the worst. I'm the worst big master AI there ever was. But you're not the worst, Vexilon. Anyway, so Freeman volunteers to help because this is something she considers herself an expert in. Although it would be much more practical for Billups to do this or any of the engineering team. But whatever.
He shows up eventually.
He shows up. He shows up when she calls him, when she's kind of in over her head.
It's like when basically your parent figure that just doesn't understand computers is like, no, I can disable this virus. I got this, and then you just got a blue screen left.
And that's when I call Jody when I know I'm in over my head. So
yeah. Jody just looks at us disappointingly.
This episode written by Ben Waller and directed by Brandon Williams. And then we all head over to the other storyline, which is Boimler commanding his first mission, a newly promoted junior lieutenant grade, kind of talking to himself, getting himself his little pep talk in the corner until Talin interrupts him. She says, "Is your little talk to yourself ritual over now? Are you ready to start with the mission?"
Confidence ritual over.
Your confidence ritual. That's right.
That was confidence
ritual. And we see a few ensigns here. I can't remember all their names right now, but there's one of them's a Farasin, I think.
One of them's a Zinkethi, right? No, what are they called?
The cat guy?
Yeah.
I thought they're called Cations, aren't they?
No,
well,
they're an offshoot of the Cations, these ones.
The Farasins.
Oh, are they called the Farasins? Okay.
I believe so. They're like there's kind of like their cousin race. It's kind of like the Balkans.
Yeah, they're from the Slaver Weapon episode of TAS.
Yeah, I think he's a Farasin because he's got like the fangs and the ears are a little different than a standard Cation. And then I can't remember the guy who was like the fishman there, and the other one. So they're all ensigns, and so Boimler,
the other one's from the scum of all Earth, Australia.
Scum
and villainy from down there.
Skin and villainy. Yeah, so Boimler is trying to. He wants to be a good boss.
Yes, thank you, Jeremy Caulfield. That's the one I was looking for. He's Kzinti.
He's Kzinti?
Yeah, that's a Kzinti.
Not
they're
a
the cat
Farasin.
people. Yeah, they're the cat people.
I guess there are at least 3 cat species then.
Yeah, there were the Cations, and they split off into the Kzinti and the Farasins as well.
Right. In Star Trek Online, you can play as a Farasin, but only in the Klingon faction, and then the Cations are in the Federation faction. So anyway, he's determined to do it all himself here. A lot of this is him playing off of Talin. I think I liked Boimler in Talin, versus like Boimler in one of the other lower deckers. This was a good dynamic. I think
they're a good team.
I really like the way because Vulcans can be very funny, and you can use Vulcan because they're the ultimate straight man, right? like so the way if you just write it properly, it comes off amazing. It's kind of like funny that they didn't include a character like Talin from the beginning, but now that she's here, she's a welcome addition. So anyway, Boimler starts handing out his little assignments, which involve taking these things out of the machine, but they could blow up or something
at a 90-degree angle. Not 80.
Not 88.
Yeah. In fact, it's just better if Boimler shows you himself.
Better if he shows himself. We'll come back to that. So back on the Cerritos, the storyline we have for like Tendi and Rutherford and Mariner is they're kind of going along. Now that they're lieutenants junior grade, they have access to this room. What was the name of the room again?
It was it was like the Lost Artifacts room or something to that degree. It was
benefits. The Anomaly Storage Room, it's called.
Right.
So yeah, we see
one of those Vulcan ritual.
Yeah, that's a Lurpa. That's that robot that erased Uhura's memory.
Is that like beam thing in the top corner there?
Right. You got a battle lift in one shot. There's different Easter eggs in this room, including of course, what is the move along home prop. Alamarine. Yeah, that also happens to be here from the Wadi. I'm also a fan of Alamarine. It's just it's a lot of fun, Junie, and we did it as a Star Trek radio theater way early, and I think it's like our 3rd or 4th episode, which we were like, it's so silly, let's just do it, and we had a lot of fun doing that. Kevin played Wadi, the guy goes Alamarine. It was good.
You start on the second shaft, Dave.
Yeah, only children start on the first shaft. Yeah. Some good stuff in that episode. In the room, we get a Betazoid gift box, which we had seen in Star Trek: The Next Generation. This annoying,
played by Armin Shimmerman.
Armin Shimmerin did this voice?
Yeah. He was
No,
I don't know if
in the
he did
original
voice,
one.
but-
The original.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he didn't do this one. Okay.
No.
No. I actually
Um,
thought this was Boimler for a minute.
Maybe because it says unidentified voice actor for the Betazoid gift box, so it could have been Jack Quaid. Anyway, they're like, it's not. We're told it's not sentient. It's just like this annoying parrot thing that kind of repeats phrases it hears, but also
Swears
says a couple
at them.
things.
She's like, oh, I didn't know Ta'ana came in here.
Yeah, exactly. It was just, so they get called to the whatever this room is called, the room with all the isolinear chips, the computer core maybe. And so this guy who we've seen before, he's a full lieutenant, not a lieutenant junior grade. His name is Dirk. And I think he's the guy in the pilot episode who goes, keep moving, lower decks. You know, I'm pretty sure he was the guy who met Tendi off in the first episode. He gives them this assignment that they have to go through and scan every isolinear chip in the room one by one, and there's thousands of them.
Just to see if one is broken.
To see if one is broken, because
This is a point.
They're like, are we being hazed? Is this hazing?
Is this hazing? Like, this seems like ensign work, not lieutenant junior grade work.
It's like, no, a lieutenant would never hate us or haze us. And he's just like, yeah, because they're like too virtuous. She's like, no, because they're too lame. Like, full lieutenants are way too lame to do something like that.
Turns out they're not.
They're not. No.
Yeah. So they get put on this assignment. Dirk leaves them to it, and it's very tedious work. Of course, yeah, they think they're getting hazed. Back on the planet, Captain Freeman trying to fix Vexilon and get things going, but things start going awry. There's
just a second-rate Landru, if you ask me.
A second-rate Landru, yeah. The weather system starts malfunctioning, and we see that the planet starts going haywire. There's snow, there's places, there's lightning, there's different things. Boimler and his team are kind of just seeing the results of this where they are.
Clouds turning into ice cubes and just falling from the sky.
Falling up from the sky, yeah. Better stay indoors. And so they start trying to pull these things out, and this is where Boimler's like, no, that's not how you do it. And any boss that can't train somebody to do something or trust somebody to do something is not worth their salt. So, this is kind of what the point of this whole episode is that Boimler has, being a leader and being a boss is being able to delegate. And not always...
He's just been so rattled by Talin. She's just like, it's almost certain you're gonna lose a member of your crew on this mission.
Yeah,
they're either going to die or be dismembered.
Statistics say,
and she repeats that, yes, or dismembered,
or dismemberment.
Or dismemberment.
Yeah, she's like, or death or dismemberment. You might just get dismembered. She's always so matter of fact about it. No, it's a good. It's a different energy than like Boimler and Mariner, right? So it's good. So he starts doing himself, trying to show them, starts doing it with his teeth, I think, at one point. Yeah, there we go.
Like,
And
she's the least insane person on the Cerritos. She was such a needed character. Like, the rest of them, the senior officers and everything, they're all insane. Like,
pretty much.
Talin's just like this kind of like straight-laced officer, like, because she's a Vulcan, so they needed her. She's going to change this ship dramatically.
I guess Billups is the least insane one, but he has other personal issues, so it's
he's from a crazy planet. He's got some issues too.
Yeah.
But a good engineer though, and like an engineer nerd, like he knows all about this second-rate Landru.
Well, we'll talk about him and his pet ferret Lancelot, who comes into play in this episode. Back on the Cerritos, the Tendi and them are trying to scan all these chips, and then we see the ferret come out of the chips that they're going. Its name is Lancelot, because we know that Billups is from his real name is Andorithio, or his first name is Andorithio, and he's intending, he's from a planet of Renaissance fair people, and he named his pet ferret Lancelot. So he still has some reverence for his culture, even though he joined Starfleet and gave up the throne because he doesn't want to have sex. Because then if he has sex, he'll never be able to give up the throne or something. So
maybe that's why Boimler never ends up getting with those ladies on his grape farm that are always trying to get with him.
We're gonna ask what the cat's name is there, Murphy.
Oh, that would be Talia.
Talia al Ghul.
Yes, actually.
Oh, there you go.
Nerds.
Batman nerds. Anyway, so
Worst kind.
So after they finish
The
scan,
worst
they think they're done scanning all the insulinary chips. Dirk shows up, and he's like, "Oh, but you didn't look behind the second layer." And they pushes this button, the secret button, and then the other layer opens up of more chips. He's like, "Why wouldn't you tell us about the second layer?" He's like, "I thought that the hidden button would be the dead giveaway. The secret."
Yeah, I thought the hidden button was obvious.
Yeah. Got two more, right? And then the ferret gets out, Lancelot, and Dirk chases after that. And then the force field goes up. They get locked in this room for a bit. This is when the heat's up, right? Because now they have to use the tongs to take out the chips because they could burn them.
The second layer.
Yeah,
right.
The tongs make it twice as hard.
Yeah.
Right. Rutherford gets burned on the hand at one point here, too. And then, we see the ferret going awry there.
Who she calls Ruthy for the first time.
Ruthy? Yeah, that's a new one. Back on. I keep saying it's the planet, but it's not a planet. It's
a halo.
It's a ring system.
Yeah. And so the weather system's going crazy. It's like going hot, cold, night, day, snow, clouds, different things. Captain Freeman trying to get it going. She thinks she succeeds at one point, just to see that the whole system then crashes and has some kind of hard reboot. This is when she calls down Billups, when she's like, "Okay, Billups, I need your help." And he comes down, but he's all depressed because Lancelot, you can't find Lancelot, and he's missing on the ship.
A rough week.
Yeah. Rough week there for Billups. But Freeman puts him to help. And then he starts saying, "Oh, like an evil computer, like Landrew," or he compares him to a few others. Like, is he malfunctioning?
Agamus?
Is he like Agamus or any of those? And the natives get a little defensive of they love their Vexilon.
Like, we love Vexilon. He's great. Like, well, it's funny. He's just like, it's sort of like a knock at a cell phone. It's just like, you just need to upgrade its operating system, like your phone does every 2 months.
Right. Yeah, I think. Well, you're probably right about that. And so Billups starts helping out here.
Did you try jiggling the power source?
Yeah, you go,
the lightning happens.
Yeah, you got jiggle things. They think that they got the code rebooted here, but then it starts to go bad again. And I think it goes back to factory settings or something.
Yeah, factory settings, Genesis 1 program initiating, I believe. So it just starts reformatting the whole Halo.
Right. Yeah, it goes here, and then it's not just the weather's going wonky here. It starts actually becoming destructive. We see there's even magma coming out, lava coming out of the below.
I believe it's pronounced liquid hot magma.
Liquid hot magma.
Yeah, exactly. Boimler's narrowly avoiding death because he's making sure everyone stays inside the structure while he puts himself at risk. And they want to help, but he won't let them. They're like, "Why don't you get us to pull those things over?" "Oh, I got it all." So Boimler going here. And then I think eventually Talin says, "You need to stop this. This is getting nuts."
We're going to die.
Yeah, we're all going to die. I think Freeman calls Boimler at one point here, or maybe 2 points in the episode, and says, "Can you do this or change something around and work on this?"
She specifically said, she's like, I found this old scroll in a dusty drawer that you actually need to put all the batteries back and turn this on. We need to do a backup reboot." And that's
because he was taking the batteries out, and so he has to actually put them back in, right? So
his armpit sweat. He's been giving her.
Yeah. And then the volcano starts to erupt.
I just like that though. She's like, "A mountain has seemed to appeared, or perhaps a volcano." Then it erupts, and she goes, "In fact, it was a volcano."
It is a volcano.
Fascinating.
Yeah, she's
God,
a matter
she's so
of fact.
great. She's
so
great.
calm. And then back on here, so they want to get back at what's his name again? The guy, Dirk. They want to get back at Dirk. Dirk Diggler for the hazing. They're convinced that they were hazed on that isolator chip, so they want to haze him back. So they set up a trap here that when he comes through the door, he's going to get stuck in the Ala Moraine simulation. You know, they have it all rigged up here, and they're gonna stick him with the Betazoid gift box too, just for extra like. Ultimately,
that when they said that reminded me. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the old website Newgrounds, but there was a series of cartoons called like Beelzebub's Torture or something, and there was a specific torture of this guy who would die. He'd go into the afterlife. He would go through all of these tortures and pretend they were cool, and then they just put him in a room with a couch, and he thought it was cool. But there was a little doll head on the very top of the room out of reach, and all it would say is, "What you talking about, Willis?" over and over and over, and just basically to an infinite amount, driving this man insane. I'm assuming none of you have seen this.
I haven't seen it, but I can imagine. I can follow what you're describing. Yeah.
Yeah, that was my mindset. I'm like, oh man, that box is just gonna torture anybody that it goes in with.
And it kind of does. It seems to do that to Rutherford. Yeah. Anyway, so they get the whole thing, but then they run into Dirk right after that, and Dirk gives this story about how when he was a child he was stuck in one of those Alamarain games for a month, and it scarred him, you know, gave him a whole trauma. You know, he starts crying.
He never got off of Shap 1.
He never got out of Shap. Boy, I was stuck there, these stupid games. I couldn't figure my way out of it.
Alamarain.
Count to 4. You know, even so but we find out that this is all part of the ruse. Yeah, this is all BS, but you know, he's playing them. But it seems sincere. Anyway, so Mariner goes, okay, I'll go, because they want to talk about Tellarite slop jazz. Because apparently that's what Dirk's really into.
I want to hear it. I think I'd be into it.
Tellarite slop jazz, yeah. Seems like you're... Anyway, so Mariner keeps him busy while Tendi and Rutherford try to like undo the prank that they've set up. Back down here with the volcano, and Boimler, he's trying to still... pull out all these batteries. This is before Talin. I think this is right when Talin's like, you need to stop trying to do everything yourself and use your team here.
She eventually was making suggestions the whole time. Eventually she just gets sick of it. She's like, Mr. Boimler, listen to your crew.
Yeah,
you will listen to your crew.
But but he's supposed to be in command here. So, you know, she's like, your promotion was not random. You know, because he's struggling with the fact that like he used to be the same rank as them, and now why should he give the orders? But she's like, because you got promoted because you did this and this, you know, and you earned it. And he kind of comes around on this, and you need to use your team, just like how Ransom trusted in you to promote you. You need to trust in them. So he seems to heed this advice and go with it. And so he starts. He goes with the new thing. He says something funny here, where he's like, "Come on, team, we need to put our lives at risk." And like Dylan's like, "That's not really what I meant," or something. But anyway, so he starts handing out the assignments to all the different characters. Meanwhile, back on the ship, on the Cerritos,
I just like the show where she's just like, "Look at your crew," and they're just like kicking away little fireballs.
Yeah, I think you're being back here. Yeah, but he's just.
They're just like, "Oh, get out of here, fireball."
Yeah, they're great. There's a bunch of lower deckers as well, but you know,
lower deckers are the coolest.
They are. Anyway, Tendi is her part in trying to undo things is actually to finish the assignment they were given by scanning all of those memory chips, because believing that this was not a hazing ritual, that this was actually something that needed to be done. So she goes on like hardcore mode here. And then so Rutherford
Ryan ninja skills and just starts.
Yeah. What did she say? Like on the Ryan culture, when they have a hazing ritual, they have some kind of like battle or something.
Yeah, they just have a blindfold saber fight or something.
We have a blindfolded saber fight. What do you guys do? Rutherford is trapped. He tries to undo the trap, but ending up in the trap himself, and gets put into the Alan Moraine game. You know, the phaser goes off, and then it shoots his box at him.
What a trap!
What a trap! And he ends up there. You know, that was good stuff. Of course, you know, we knew this was coming in the season because it was in the trailer, but it was really funny.
It's like a badass.
Where is it?
Move along home, Alamarain.
"A la Moraine, count to 4." He's like, "Oh no."
You have made it to Shap 4. He's like, I know. Come on.
I know. And then he starts eating the food. And we got Dirk and so they were kind of intercutting between with like Dirk and Mariner. But yeah, he's doing all like the things from that episode from Move Along Home.
It's just so slow, and he's in such a hurry.
Maybe we're meant to do something, you know. I think that's like from one of the original like quotes I have in like the game. Maybe we're meant to do something. I know I have that somewhere.
Move along home.
Up here with like the waddle guy starts like eating the food and
Look at those mutton chops.
Yeah, well that's why
glorious.
we got Kevin to play this guy in the radio theater because they just had a similar mustache. We didn't know you then, Murphy. So you know, but it was
Move along.
So he's like, whatever, you know, and then he's like, oh, yeah, he's always disappointed. But apparently Phil Lamar did that guy's voice. And then Tendy finally finds the broken chip and smashes it and replaces it. Job well done. All complete there. I think Mariner's done talking about slop jazz and the nuances here. She's just trying to delay Dirk for as long as possible. But eventually that comes out.
Migley-moo.
Rutherford actually has to jump off the cliff and die, just like in the original episode. He's like, and the box keeps. Why did he could have left the box in that game? He didn't have to even bring that out with him.
He's just taking it with him the whole time.
Yeah, I don't really understand why he felt attached to it.
Because it's Rutherford.
He ends up back. Oh, I think maybe this is why he kept it, because when he gets back into the real world, he has to. The trap goes off again, and he uses the box to block the phaser. Or something.
The Picard. It's the friggin'.
It's the simulation thing that put Picard's
it's
in
the
the
lifetime
flute music
simulation.
And the box
inner
goes
light.
in.
It's the inner light device.
That's why he comes out and he's like, was that all the simulation?
Yeah, he's like, was that a simulated entire lifetime?
Oh, I
like,
missed that.
Sorry. And he's like, I miss my wife. Oh, yeah, so they Picard inner lighted that box.
I thought it was the Holo program from the Voyager episode. He's like, oh, I miss my wife. I thought it was that one for a second, but no. Wow, I can't believe I didn't put that together. Good catch.
Yeah, he's so sad there. He doesn't have his whole life.
He's so sad.
It's like, give me a flute, a Ressican flute, please.
Yeah. Where's that when I need it?
That just made the episode so much better.
I think we have to almost play that here.
Look at his face. His face is so like, oh my god.
Good melody. Good one. All right, and then
Beautiful.
Yeah, Boy Blair, yeah, but then, because Dirk has to go meet Migley-moo, right? You know, he's like, "Oh, we're not even meeting here. We're meeting in his room. I didn't need to come here at all." You know,
for hours.
For hours. And then, yeah, Rutherford's thumbs up. Back on not the planet, but down here on the Halo. Yeah, they're putting these batteries in or whatever, and trying to get this thing rebooted so they can stop the destruction all around them. Freeman calls over to Boimler and tells him he has to reboot the core or something, and he, they said we have to get out of here.
Everybody out.
Of course, as the great commander Boimler is, he orders everyone out. He's going to sacrifice himself in the great pursuit of this noble cause. The emergency
more like
shutdown.
accept the potential of that danger. Like he's still hoping to get out. He's just like, if someone has to go, it might as well just be one of us.
Yeah, he's not like what's his name on Enterprise, Malcolm, who always wants to die. So
Malcolm always wants to die.
Malcolm's like, we're gonna die. We just accept it.
It runs in the Reed line. He wants to be like his uncle.
Yeah, he wants to die like drowning on a ship or something.
For your water, my uncle.
Yeah, but Boimler manages to do it. He gets the whole thing deactivated and rebooted, but in the process, he gets kind of blown up. And then he gets blown out here. And he's looking
that
pretty.
swerved me. I was really surprised. I was like, oh, he's got to turn it off. And just like, I was like, oh, and then when he flies out and the way like animate him hitting the ground, I was like, that was pretty hard, and it looked like it hurt a lot.
Yeah.
The funny thing is the delay. Like, it must have just shot him like 600 feet in the air, because it's like this very long delay, and then he just lands in front of them. It's like,
so unexpected.
Yeah, until then, just like
The Lieutenant Junior Grade First Mission mortality rate appears to be accurate.
it's accurate. And I like how all the ensigns are crying for Boimler. It's amazing.
Just like,
I like how it sort of like reinvents the red shirt thing too. It's like, it's not about what color shirt you wear; it's about your rank. It's like, if you're a Lieutenant Junior Grade, you're screwed.
You want to get out of that rank as soon as possible.
Yeah, exactly.
But okay, so let's talk about his near-death scene here, or him like in the purgatory or whatever the hell this was. So he wakes up here.
Yeah, it was near death because he was about to be accepted by the koala at the center.
I guess that's the Black Mountain.
No, remember?
Yeah.
Don't you remember last season where there was the koala? Like, the guy transcends. He's the transcension guy.
Yes,
The
kind of.
ascension guy, and then he ascends, and he's just like, "Why is the universe on the back of a koala? What is he staring at? What does it mean?" So the universe is on the back of a koala in the Star Trek universe.
Okay.
So Boimler just saw that koala for the first time.
But like, don't you remember like Shax's talking about the Black Mountain?
Yeah. Oh, that mountain, that window you
Yeah.
mean? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the Black Mountain for sure. Sorry, I didn't.
why is
I was
That's
just,
what you're talking about.
what can I can never
why is
find
the
Yeah,
koala
why is the koala-
smiling? What does he know?
Yeah, that's definitely the Black Mountain. So he almost got there.
Okay, so death is the first thing that happens. And then, oh wait, you do know about the Black Mountain, right?
The what now?
The Black Mountain is a spiritual battleground. Your soul goes where you have...
It's a spiritual
What a great
battleground.
callback that is.
Yeah. He's looking at it there, and then suddenly that koala
There's
is
the
there.
koala.
Yeah, the koala, and he says, "Hey, koala," and then it's just like staring at him.
And smiling. What does he know?
What does he know? I don't know. I don't trust him for a second.
I bet you if you were to play this audio backwards and either speed it up or slow it down, you'll probably figure out what they're saying.
Yeah. And then Boimler gets revived here, much to the shock.
But he's like so burnt up. He should be in such pain. He's like,
Yeah.
he's burnt to a crisp.
Dr. Tiad is like, "Wow, that actually worked."
It's like, holy shit, that worked.
Yeah.
Give me another shot of
30
whatever
more
that worked that
CCs.
last time. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
3 more CCs, whatever that is that worked.
Oh, you know I got that. Boo.
Yeah, that's great.
Boo.
Give me 30 cc's of whatever just worked a minute ago.
I love how much like she
I love
doesn't
Ransom
care about
thing
it.
here too.
Well done, Mr. Boimler. You never forget your first death. Only more and more dangerous missions from here on out.
Yeah, and she's like, "Can you get the hell out of here? Give me 30 cc's, whatever the hell just worked." And to finish up the episode, the Cerritos wrapping up, the lower deckers having a drink in the lounge, talking about. I like that also how just Kayshawn just walked by, just like, yeah, we threw him in the episode. He's always around. It feels like a real ship, sometimes. It feels like I know these people. Anyway, so they're having a drink there, and then like we get the reveal that they were being hazed by Dirk the whole time. Ransom put them up to it. And
Enjoy your
Later night
Starbucks.
shift.
later night shift. Starbucks.
Coffee sucks. You can find better in your neighborhood. I'm sure of it.
They have Tim Hortons where you are.
That's even worse.
I know.
Well, they're both bad.
Yeah. Anyways, they send Lancelot at Rutherford here, and he freaks out, and there's a big laugh here to end the episode. And that wraps up the plot of the story. And so, guys, let's see if there's any trivia to be had on this episode in the Cradle of Vexilon. Not too much, but here. Larry Niven's work are reflected in this episode. The Corazonia megastructure is from the Ringworld series. The Kazinti character of Ensign Taylor is from the Tales from Known Space. Who is Larry Niven? While Ensign
Right.
Taylor has appeared in the previous episodes of Star Trek Lower Decks, this is the first time his name is used. Okay, and we also have the first time that Taylor and Dirk are identified in dialogue for the first time. We of course saw like that, whatever you call that, Betazoid gift box, which I can't. Is that the first time Luxana Troy shows up? Is that back in like season 1?
Yeah.
So yeah, like there's a few things that were referenced here, but overall, the episode's mostly about Boimler learning to be even more confident. I like how these characters are growing and not just staying sort of locked as ensigns. I really appreciate that, and like being dumb and new.
The show's gonna end when they become lieutenants, because then they're not
or even captains. Or
oh geez, no, I don't. I think it'll be lieutenants as soon as they leave the lower decks.
Well, when do you leave the lower deck? When is it? When you're
a full lieutenant.
A full lieutenant, you're out. Okay.
Yeah, full lieutenant, you get your own room.
But I think a lieutenant junior grade, you have to stay that rank for like 5 years or something. So
good. Well, good.
Well, Data says that in one episode. He's like, you have to spend 6 years as an ensign and a couple of years as a lieutenant junior grade, and So, which presumably he did, and then he stayed a lieutenant commander for 20 years. But who's to say? All right, well, guys, let's get into our ratings and figure out.
Though his program may omit ambition.
Exactly. All right. So, okay. In the Cradle of Vexilon, I would give this episode a solid 8.5. I liked it. I didn't love it. It was okay.
8.5's pretty great.
Yeah, I honestly, I was thinking like 6.5 for me, but then when Davan pointed out the whole inner light thing, that pumped it up to 7.5. So that's what I'm giving it.
7.5.
Yeah.
Okay. And Davan,
Give this one an 8.
is it an 8? We're averaging an 8 with that. Is that what 8.5? And
Sam gives it an 8.
Yeah, Sam gives it an 8. IMDb is currently giving this episode, as of right now,
an 8.
A 7.6. Close.
Oh.
And so, how many votes? 62. So there's still early. We'll see if that changes in time. But I'm going to put Boimler as the focus of this one.
Yep.
Boimler and
Talin.
And Talin. Yeah. All right. Boimler and Talin.
All stuff is science stuff.
All stuff is science stuff, technically. All right. Well, guys, do we have does anyone know the name of the next episode yet? Has that been announced? Oh, here it is.
Yeah, the whole season's out.
Something Borrowed, Something Green is the next episode.
Orion episode.
It's gotta be an Orion episode, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you it's that. If you've seen the trailer, there's that one clip where Marina gets a knife in her shoulder.
Yeah.
At a bar. I bet you that's the episode.
Orion wedding, calling it now. Something borrowed, something green. It's an Orion wedding.
Is Tendi getting married, or do you think she's just going
to? Supposed to marry somebody. Because she's the mistress of the Winchester constellations. There's got to be some strings attached to that label.
I'd imagine. So. Yeah. Well,
marriage.
Could be. Okay, so, but attendee-focused episode. Attendee-focused episode at the very least, it seems like, is coming up next. So that should be fun. We'll be back in 1 week to talk about that. And what else we got going on here, guys? Live Long and Podcasts, all kinds of Star Trek podcasts. Davin, you've most recently done Debate 9. You've had...
Because debates are science stuff. Trivia is science stuff. All things are science stuff. And that's what we do.
Everything's in the science division.
Yep, everything.
Everything. And Locutors of Trek had their season finale on their audio format audio podcasts. Came out about a month ago.
Yep. And I got I just finished putting together the collection of our little skits at the end of each episode. And so Plain Simple Tailors Volume 2 will be out tomorrow.
Oh, great.
The Adventures of Plain Simple Tailors.
Very cool. And then in our command division,
where we head to Glorndon Core at Warp 3.4.
And then in our command division, we are going to we continue our coverage of Star Trek Enterprise, season 4. We're down up to episode 10, I think. So we only got another 12 or so before we wrap that up, and then we'll come back to Deep Space Nine. I know, Sam, you were asking about that the other night. When will Deep Space Nine? Once we finish Enterprise, I think we'll put Enterprise back, or put Deep Space Nine back on the slate, and we'll finish season 7. maybe bringing in Adam and some of those other guys from the Enterprise podcast to help us, make sure we have a bigger bench.
Let's see if I can catch up in time. I'm like in season 3. I'm just about to watch the civil defense episode.
Yeah, well, you have to get through 3 more seasons.
Attention, Bajoran workers. That's that episode.
Yeah, that's a good one. I remember we gave that one a pretty good one. Attention, Bajoran workers, or that podcast. Kevin and Ashley called themselves the Bajoran workers, and and then we kept calling them that to the point where I made Ashley's character Bajoran in Star Trek Online.
Amazing.
Yeah, where is it? God. Oh, do I not have?
Sam, I haven't seen DS9. I'm just watching it now.
Yeah.
Bajoran workers, your attention, please.
There you go. All right. Well, check
your
out.
Rebellion will fail, and you will all be killed. Or you can go back to your rooms and be good.
Yes, exactly. So we have all kinds of things going on here on Live Long and Podcast. Of course, other things coming up in the near future. Check the schedule, guys. Check your local listings. United Federation of Podcasts is also a bigger network of podcasts that myself and Chris and Davan are all part of, along with Jaemeel Robinson. It includes a bunch of different channels like Super Mater Brothers podcast, where we talk about different reality shows and sometimes Marvel and different things, mostly TV focused over there. Right now,
brothers.
We are brothers.
We are brothers!
And we'll be on tonight covering the week 6 eviction of Big Brother 25. So and Survivor season 45 coming up in 2 weeks, guys. We're gonna have our draft, our whole new cast. There's a Canadian in this cast. It's very exciting. And
is it Jaemeel?
No.
Oh.
No.
Is it Sam?
No. X-Rated, the X-Men the Animated Review Show with Davan and André on Tuesdays, talking about the X-Men the Animated Series and interviewing.
That's what we do. We've got 4 episodes left of the animated series.
I guess you'll just have to keep doing more interviews then. Once you run.
Well, we're gonna do more interviews, and we're gonna review the X-Men movies. Andre's idea. It's gonna be me being
all of them,
negative, probably. Yeah, but we've got time. It's not coming out till next year, the new series. So
yeah,
we'll find ways. We'll play some games. We'll do some things. I want to do an X-Men radio theater, so I got to bring in the Star Trek radio theater.
That'd be fun.
For that.
Like X-Men radio theater. Let's do it.
Yeah. We're going to read like a comic book and play the characters and stuff.
Graphic Histories, speaking of comic books, with André Myette, an audio format podcast where he interviews people from comic books, but also movies and TV and different people he's met in entertainment. Check that out. Hold Up, a movie podcast. It's Davan and Murphy's baby, where they talk about 3 movies. I think we got season 2 premiere coming up soon, October something, right? I'm going to be on that one.
Early October
4th or something like that.
October 4th, I think we're talking space movies, including Apollo 13.
Space.
So that's going to be good.
An American astronaut, we're calling that one.
Yes, 3 American astronauts. And Eamon on Track. I believe Davan's going to be on that podcast talking about the some kind of a jazz album. Eamon told me today.
Well, yeah, we're gonna be reviewing
Slap
SMV
Jazz?
Thunder.
Telluride Slop Jazz?
No, it's freaking slap bass is what it is. It's Marcus Miller, Victor Wooten, Stanley Clark. It's SMV. It is like if you could get the best 3 musicians on the planet from any instrument and put them on an album together or on a stage together, it never happens. It happens here. It happens.
You know what? I'm gonna have to get on
Thunder.
that. I'm gonna have to get onto another episode of Eamon's show so I can, give him something nice and modern and tasty. Get him out of these.
Sure,
old
he'll appreciate
jams
that.
You guys have been pulling him through day after day.
I mean, I'm exposing him to some great music, guys. Like, I don't know what you're talking
I'm the only one exposing him to great music.
Well, we all have our opinions. The good thing is he likes it all.
I'm the only one that's got a 10 out of 10 album. So
you're the only one who got a perfect album. That's true. So check out Eamon on Track, a great channel and podcast. Trivial Debates is another one we have coming up on September 23rd. Jody Simpson hosting a Transformers-themed episode, along with Transformers.
3 buddies of mine.
Yeah.
Bobby, Brad,
we got Bobby Victory, we got Brad Jones, and we got Daryl Wall, my comic purveyor.
There you go. And then the Hellbound podcast, back from hiatus, Alex Blackburn, Michael Chan, where they talk about horror in audio format. Check out their podcast. And those are all our shows, guys. So thanks for being with us tonight, and thanks for staying around. All right. And I need something to go out on here. Oh, I know what it is. I'm not a jazz person. That's what we'll leave you tonight. Okay, see everyone. See you next time, everyone. Live long and podcast.
I'm so glad we
Need to
didn't get
shift out.
Dirk sucked into the game. The guy seems traumatized.
He's working on it, though. Under that grouchy exterior is a guy just trying to find some peace.
I wish he could find it without sending me all these jazz albums. I like them, and it's bugging me. I am not a jazz person.
Nope.
Everyone's a jazz person.